Well, couple of big plays on special teams last week. Obviously, one the other way as well. So, how do you kind of evaluate what you saw special teams wise?
Well, I mean, it's always you remember the bad, probably even more than the good, and we just can't let that happen. It puts a team in a bad situation. We got momentum, and then kick off and give it back to them, and you start and think about how the game could have gone. Hey, if we stop them there, maybe it's a totally different game. Maybe we get a big stop on defense right there and all that stuff. The other stuff, defensive guys did a great job. Kamale came through there on a punt, and the defense on the field goal did a good job forcing them into a long field goal, and we knew there was a chance the guy would hit a low ball, and those guys got some good push, got their hands up, and those ended up being big plays, and just great effort, especially by the D-line there.
What did go wrong on the kick return?
Oh, we had a couple guys read it wrong. We had a guy in there just didn't win. It's all these little things that kind of combine add up into one big thing. Maybe if one of those little things didn't happen, we could have survived it. But at the end of the day, we got to be on point, and we weren't. So
the play by Kamale, had you guys had the make sure you scoop it up conversation before that, or have you had that now this week?
Well, we've had it before, and he just felt the guy right on his back and was worried that all the different things that could happen, and sometimes it's hard to transition from being a D lineman, and that might be a quarterback, and you're thinking, hey, I got to get it, to being a punter, and it doesn't matter if we get it or not, but that's always a continuing point of emphasis about all that stuff. And at the end of the day, we just said, hey, you like touchdowns, right? And, I think the biggest problem was if he didn't get it, Bo would have got the touchdown. So
what's the only negative? If they kick it out of the end zone, then it's a safety, I guess.
Or if you pick it up and actually run for 2 steps and then fumble and they recover, then it is their ball. So, obviously the rewards outweigh the risks in that point. We're trying to scoop and score that, but he just felt the guy right on his back and thought, hey, I need to get on this thing.
Good.
So how hard can it be to overcome special teams touchdowns? And I ask especially because the last 2 years San Diego State's picked one up in each of the games.
They're unbelievably hard because if for no other reason, they're huge momentum shifts in the game. You're about to get the ball pinned down in their territory, and all of a sudden they're scoring or turnovers. You have the ball. I mean, all that stuff. It's a killer. And I think any special teams coach would tell you, like, when that happens, I mean, you feel like you might have lost by 30 points, and you feel like that's why you lost because the game turned on that. And those are the kind of things we're always talking about. Kind of the days of, hey, we had 40-yard net punt and they had 38-yard net punt. Well, in the whole scheme of things, with all the scoring nowadays, it used to be, hey, if there were 15 punts in a game and you had 5 yards per punt, better than them, well, 7 or 8 of those might have come back to back, and that really is a huge transition in field position. Now, it resets every time there's a kickoff. So 2 yards is probably 2 yards, and but the big plays, those are the things that really change field position. Whether they're for you or against you, that's the thing that it's field position, it's points a lot of times, and it's definitely momentum. So those are the kind of things we're always preaching. Hey, we got to create big plays, and we got to kill the big plays on the other team.
San Diego State's beaten Boise State 2 years in a row, and largely because of big special teams plays. I assume your guys are probably pretty motivated for this one.
Yeah, they're
this
aware
week.
of that, and we're ready to go out and have a great game.
What do you see from them on special teams that makes them difficult?
They have excellent returners. They have excellent skill guys. They give good effort. They play hard. They're very sound in what they do. They're not going to make it easy on you. I think they do a good job of getting their best guys out there, playing hard for them. So we got to match all that stuff.
You look at a guy like Dan. Obviously, at least earlier this week, he led the country in touchbacks. A chance to neutralize their return game in those regards.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but they'll bring the ball out of the end zone, so we're going to have to cover kicks. You know, and some of that will depend on weather conditions when we get there and all that stuff. But yeah, it's always nice to have a guy that can at least put it into the end zone and at least make them make a decision about what they're going to do.
I don't know if he's technically with you anymore, but did Jeremy play after the penalty, or did he sit the rest of the game?
No, he played.
He
Yeah.
played, okay.
Yeah.
Would,
How much, I couldn't tell you, but, yeah, and that's a learning deal for a freshman. I mean, he was getting his ankle twisted under the pile, and he was trying to get it free and couldn't, so he tried, just came naturally to him, and you said, hey, I mean, don't let the guy break your ankle, but at the same point, you can't kick a guy.
And Jay, obviously another big game. As he's rolled through this, are there little coaching points you still try to hit with him every week, or how do you kind of?
Oh,
I mean, he's being so productive. What do you say to him
Yeah,
each
I
week?
mean, I think that's part of what's been the hallmark of the Boise State program. There's always stuff you can get better at, so we're always working on different things, whether it's footwork, ball handling, reads, the tracks we're on, that kind of stuff, just emphasizing it and finding it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, that's what you want in a tailback, a guy that you hand him the ball, point him in the right direction, and he makes something happen. So he's done a great job of doing that.
Got your old boss in the booth this week. What do you think having Hawk up
Yeah,
there?
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I know he'll do a great job, and I've heard him a few times on TV, and I think he does do a great job. So yeah, it's always great having him around, and probably wish I saw him more than I do.
Coach Arson said a few weeks ago, talking about the offense and unpredictability, one thing that makes an offense really good is when a defense knows something's coming and they can't stop it. Late in that game, you guys ran left repeatedly on that final drive.
You guys notice that?
How impressive
Can't get
was it?
something by Jake.
Yeah, how impressive was that, though? That, I mean, I even heard there was even a New Mexico defender that said they knew it was coming and they couldn't stop it. So just how impressive was that final drive?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And we know that's one of our safest plays. Gets the ball to our best guy with the ball in his hands. And our offensive line, they were coming off burying guys. I mean, the tight ends and O-line, that was impressive. I mean, and that is, at the end of a game, when you're ahead, they know you're going to run the ball, so you got to find your best play and get to it. And we did that. And yeah, I'm sure, I think everybody in the stadium probably knew it was coming at some point, but you got to be able to execute it still, both our end executing it and their end executing, trying to stop it. And yeah, I mean, when you know you can do that stuff, you know you're going to be a good team.